Alrighty people, we've been enjoying our Nintendo Switches for a while now, and I thought, what's next for Nintendo? We've had some pretty good consoles from them in the past, and I think that with the release of the Nintendo Switch Lite, there's been a lot of discussion around when the Nintendo Switch Pro or the next Nintendo Switch or next console from Nintendo is going to come out. Now, we already know that there's not going to be a new version of the Nintendo Switch in 2020, as Nintendo said earlier this year, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be something in 2021. Now, think about it, the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017. The Nintendo Switch Lite came out in 2019. Now, I know that I'm not great at maths, but I'm pretty sure that that's 2 years, and 2021 is 2 years away from 2019, which is when the Switch Lite came out. So personally, it would make sense for them to release something in 2021 and not in 2020. So if that's what happens, I think they've made a good decision. But it also means that they aren't competing with the likes of the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, because I think personally Nintendo is going for a very different style of gamer. I don't think that in the consoles that they've been making, they're striving to achieve for the people that want really, really high performance and graphics and the tippy top of what computers can do. In terms of there being a possibility of the Nintendo Switch Pro or a Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever you want to call it, we have had some data miners doing their data mining or whatever they do, I don't know. They've been looking through the versions of 10.0.0, which at the time I'm recording this, we're currently in 10.0.4, just for reference, and they found some code names which are related to the Switch, which I'll pop on screen. I'm not going to try and pronounce them because we all know that won't go well. One of which is the Switch when it was released, the other is the revised or updated version of the Switch. Then we have the Switch Lite, and then after that we have two that are unknown. They're not released, we don't know what they are at all. This could show possibility to be a non-mobile device or purely docked because of lack of battery and capability to charge and a number of other things. Data miners found hints towards a primary and secondary screen capabilities for those two codenames, which could possibly mean a dual screen like what we saw on the DS, for example. Now, another thing that I think could be completely possible is that we have heard that there is a new Breath of the Wild or Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever it's going to be in the making. Now, we haven't heard anything about this for a rather long time, actually, especially with the drought of Nintendo Directs as well. And I think that something that could be possible is that, as we all know, the Nintendo Switch was released with Breath of the Wild. It was like its release game sort of thing. So I think that it's very, very viable that this Nintendo Switch 2 or Pro could be with the release game of Breath of the Wild 2. And that may be a reason why we've heard very little of both of these. Another thing I want to discuss is the possibility of, what if it's not a Switch? What if it's something completely different? I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and he came up with an idea that I thought was absolutely insane, that I think is very, very possible. And what he was saying is that Nintendo likes to do a lot of tests. Think about the Wii U, for example. If you compare that to the Switch, it was very clearly a test version of the Switch, which ended up, being quite a success. So I think that Nintendo Labo, although people say it's trash, which a lot of people say the Wii U is trash, it was a test for some sort of virtual upgrade for the Switch or something virtual reality based from Nintendo. And his theory of what could come next is that the next version of the Switch or the next Nintendo console is a console that can be used, slotted into a VR, so you can use it as VR. You can use it handheld, just like portable, like we have on the Switch now, sort of. And you can also use it in docked mode. Now, I have no idea how they would do this, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, and I think that this would be completely viable, and I also think that it would be absolutely insane. There's one website in particular that I got a lot of information from that I'll put down in the description below. I'm not the source of this information. Obviously, I've done a decent amount of research for this. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your opinion and such. But for now, Pi signing out.